Hey y'all, Sherry G. Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't done so, go ahead and hit that like button. So look y'all, last week we saw the Fletcher family, and we saw dynamics that we hadn't seen before. Well, first of all, we were introduced to the children, and we discovered that Nell and Fletch, each one came into their union having a child already. And so then they had two children together. So Fletch had a daughter, I think her name is Lexi, and Nell had her son, and then they had a son and a daughter together. And then we see them sitting down together at dinner, and then things start popping off. So what we took away from that is that, you know what, this is a family that everyone can relate to, because no family's perfect. And in every family, the dynamics may be a little bit different, but there is always some sort of drama or some sort of issue or complication that family has to work through. And most especially when you have a blended family. And this is a blended family. I can feel that there's a lot of love there, but there's also some angst, right? So we discovered that Nell was frustrated with trying to be the fix-it person. She was tired of the adult children coming to her for money and things like that. She just wants them to kind of back away and be adults. Like, don't depend on us for money. And if you do, pay us back. Be responsible and pay us back. I'm paraphrasing everything, putting it in a nutshell. But most of us, viewers and fans, really enjoyed that scene with the Fletchers, and some were even calling for them to have their own show. I'd say we could see more of the Fletchers for sure, whether it's more of them on Love and Marriage Huntsville, or if they do get their own spinoff, that would be great too. But it could tell by watching them that they have really learned how to work this reality TV thing, because they are, in my opinion, very authentic. So they're bringing their real family life and drama to the screen. Because we also discovered that, one of the daughters, she has an issue with Fletcher. Fletcher's daughter she has an issue with him being absent for a period of time in her life. And then the son, Chris Jr., we found out that, he was incarcerated. We don't know all of the details. But this week, y'all, this Saturday, we're going to find out even more. Lexi talks a little bit more about what is actually going on with her inside of her head. Now, I'm going to drop the clip, and then I'm going to, of course, come back with my commentary. So keep in mind that when I do come back, it's just my views, my opinions, my way of seeing things. Everything is alleged, so it could be true. It might not be true. So y'all, hang tight. And again, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the like button. I'll be right back.
What this memory loss is that everyone's experiencing, but it's tragic because that never happened.
Let that go. Just let it go.
I let everything go. That's why I'm here. If I don't let everything go with this family, I would not be here.
You do have this thing about just woe is me. You do.
I have a woe is me thing.
You do. You most certainly do.
Because I was not treated the same as you guys. I've never been around this family. I've never been around this family.
Why are you lying?
When was the last time I saw you guys? November. Have I ever been on a family vacation with you guys? Have I ever been invited to a family vacation with you guys?
You most certainly have.
When? What vacation? What vacation was it? Y'all just had one when you were married to an old girl, and y'all didn't invite me. And then the time before that, when y'all went to the beach, y'all invited your employees, and I didn't get invited.
Okay, y'all, that was a lot. Actually, you know what? I can feel Lexi's frustration. In my opinion, she doesn't feel validated. And this clip, we can actually see how everyone, if you watch and if you listen, they're pushing her emotions to the side. And they're not considering her vantage point. They're not considering her story. They're not considering her perspective. They're not considering what is true for her. It may not be the truth, the absolute truth, but this is how she feels. Doesn't make it right or wrong. This is how she feels. And they're not addressing that. Like the one son told her she might as well let that go. And the other one, I forgot what he's saying, sort of like she's always kind of like playing, oh, woe is me. You're always saying, woe is me. And Nels yelled out, why are you lying? And Fletcher was sitting there shaking his head. So the whole time they just disregarded how she was feeling. Again, I empathetically state that it doesn't make her feelings right or wrong. Her feelings are her feelings. And when you take someone's feelings and you dish them, or you don't validate them, you don't consider them, then you're disregarding them and you're in a way disrespecting them. And this is this is something that happens in a lot of families, right? My family, we had to actually work through this and learn that every one of us is entitled to our emotions, our feelings, and we all are not going to always see things the same. But there is a way to talk through it without downplaying one another's feelings or one another's story, so that we can come to the truth and come to a peaceful resolution. And again, this is one of the hard things, like especially when you're in a blended family. But to me, like the biological parent holds the key to the issue in the blended family. Like they're the one that has to work the hardest to put things together. They're the one that has to work at maintaining an active emotional connection with their children. Because that's what they need. And it feels like, to me, in my opinion, this is what Lexi needs. This is what she's needed. So in my opinion, this has to be a priority, especially once you become married and bring other children into it. You got to make sure that you verbally communicate your love to your child or children on a regular basis and reinforce your commitment to them. Lexi feels like, hey, that they're going on these family trips and that she hasn't been invited, and she even brought up the example of when they went to, I guess like it was the beach or something like that. The co-workers were even invited, but she wasn't. Now, mind you, Huntsville is small. So when things like this happen, she is going to hear it from someone. Your family did such and such and such, your dad and Nell, they did such and such and such. It'll get back to her. She mentioned that when her brother got married to old girl, I'm so glad old girl wasn't there. I don't know if they're still married or what the story is behind that. It would be interesting to find out, and why, Lexi refers to her as old girl. But anyway, when she was referring to that, she wasn't invited to that situation either. So yeah, there's she's feeling left out. And whether we agree with, again, like I said, what she's saying or what she's feeling, this is real for her. So for the family to work through it would be really important. And it's really important to show empathy by acknowledging, if I were you, considering their vantage point, I might feel that way too. I mean, just show some sort of empathy and maintaining touch points with the children. Like there's so many ways to stay in touch with our children nowadays, through social media, doing FaceTime. If the child can't be present to whatever event it is, you can invite them to the event by, doing FaceTime and things like that. I'm just saying, strive to find a balance in a situation like this when there is a blended family situation going on. Try to find ways to find balance, to bring everybody together, find a way to be fully present, so inviting her to things that, even if you feel like it's something that Lexi might not be interested in, like they might feel that, hey, you know what, if we invite her to this particular event, she's not going to want to come. She's not going to want to be there because she doesn't even get along with old girl. Invite her anyway and let her be the one to make that decision. So anyway, it will be nice to see how they sit down and work through this. Hopefully they're able to sit down and work through this on Saturday. And if not, I think it would be great to see them work through it on television, because it could be a lesson to everyone. Like if they brought an expert in that can help them mediate, someone who to mediate and help them work through the issues and see it from each other's side, come together and be better and stronger in the end. That's my feelings. Anyway, y'all, that is all I have for you in this video. If you haven't done so, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I'll be back. Until then, ciao.
How you like that?